Atop a hill of the White Mountains at the end of a valley of Harrowdale, which lay under the great mountain Starkhorn, was built a golden hall. The river Snowburn flows past the city on its way towards the Entwash. There, atop a great hill, was the golden hall of Meduseld, built by Brego, son of Eorl the Old, the young, second king of Rohan. There's a crow that circles above it, and you can hear voices inside the hall, raised voices that are strained with worry. And the crow flies lower still and comes to rest atop the great cross arch, each one a horse's head, and it pecks at that arch. And inside the hall, there's a great gathering of men and women, a mustering of all of the house guards and Rohirrim that are around Edoras. Order! We will have order! The man shouts. He's thin and severe. He's got this pale skin and dark hair. And the hall will slowly come to order. And he says, this is no way for men to act in the hall of our king. On the great throne of Meduseld sits Thengel. Thengel is a powerful man. He's in his late 60s at this stage. He's got a long beard, these piercing eyes, and the horse-adorned crown of Rohan. And he's sitting with his hand pinching the bridge of his nose in worry. Eorik of Eastemnet, you are speaking. We will allow him to finish, the thin man says. You know this to be Grima. He's the advisor to the king, a friend of the White Wizard. He is young, but exceptionally wise and clever, and he's respected and well-liked by most of the Rohirrim. Eorik, who is one of the riders from Eastemnet, steps forward and he says, thank you, Grima. As I have said, Eldonburg is under siege by at least 1,000 men. A confederation of Easterlings and wainriders and various other dark men of the east are camped outside of it. Beyond that, we pass several more settlements, all under siege. All of the east is emptied, it seems, and these foreigners have poured into Rohan in an unceasing torrent. There's lots of people in the hall, which is like packed full, who like look shocked and worried. Many of them start speaking again all at once. What about blah, 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 blah. So I don't think any of you would have seen an Easterling before, or maybe even heard of Easterlings before. They're these strange people who come from east of the Brownlands, so across the border of Rohan to the east, and even further. Somebody shouts, we must send to Gondor for aid. And a lot of people shout him down. Eorik will step forward and he'll say, the heralds who've recently liberated Gundabad from the enemy are in Rohan, Lord King. They're a small force, but they have a great army of men, elves, and dwarves which will come to Rohan. They've assured me of it. And Thengel says, until then, though, we are alone. What hope can there be of Gondor's answer? They've never helped us, somebody shouts. They only care for themselves. And Grima sort of nods. Do you have anything to add, any of you, to this uproar?
No, I think Derwin is standing to the side, her arms crossed, and she's nodding her head in agreement. Gondor has never shown interest. They would not come. She's sure of it.
They may not come, but we must try. We sit here alone. We sit here to our deaths. Desperate times call for all men to come together. Rohirrim, Gondor, does not matter. Let's send people wherever they can go.
Wolf would be looking at this and listening to all the people talking. And respectfully, at least he's trying to be respectful, he would say, we're wasting time. I believe we must do something quickly. All these words, all this talk. If Gondor comes or doesn't come, my king, you know us. we are ready to act, to do whatever you ask for us. Just send me somewhere. I'm ready. I'm ready to protect Rohan.
Grima nods. Wise counsel, Wolf. He is right, Lord King. We should send them immediately. Gondor will not come. They have never come. Do you think that Denethor, who sits in his high castle of shining white marble, will send warriors? No. He is too concerned with his broken jewel of Osgiliath. He will send nothing. No aid will come from Gondor. And most people in the hall are like nodding at that. The White Wizard, Lord King, is wise and powerful. We should ask him what to do, ask for his counsel. And Thengel kind of nods slowly. Yes, Saruman of the White Hand. Very good. Eric, you will take a number of men and ride to Rohan, to Gondor. You'll ride to Gondor and ask them for aid. It's all that we can do. And Eric looks unhappy about this, but accepts. The rest of you, we will muster and we will head for Eldonburg, or whatever siege is closest. But in the meantime, Wolf, Darwin, Eofor, you'll go to the White Wizard. As Grima has said, he is wise and powerful. He will know what to do. Go with all haste and take my seal. And he'll hand you this letter that Grima is scrolling, and like he puts some sand on it, blows it, and like stamps it with the seal of the king. And he hands it to one of you.
As you say, my king, we'll prepare immediately.
These are dark days for Rohan. We cannot lose hope. We have been through worse. We had expelled the Dunlendings, those savages, from our lands, and it will be just the same here, he says, and there's a cheer from the assembled warriors. And everyone goes about their business and starts to filter out of the hall. You're left here with the king if you have any questions that you'd like to ask before you go.
I would just ask the king, my king, we do not know these people, at least I do not know them. Are we to try to talk to them at least, if we can? Or are we just to massacre every single one of them that we encounter?
They are servants of the Dark Lord, Grima says. They have sworn to him. They are swarthy men of the East. A long time ago they made pacts to Sauron. They are our enemy. And Thengel will nod at that. There can be no negotiation with these Easterlings. They have come here with one purpose, to destroy Rohan and destroy the lands of men.
Then we shall answer with our own destruction. I will gladly kill them all.
But more importantly, Thengel King, we will take the message, and we will seek counsel from the White Wizard.
He will know what to do. So you make your way out of the hall, and you can make your preparations. You can get your war gear and saddle up your horses, put on your arrow helms, and all the rest. And as you set off, and everything's provided, provisions, all the rest, you say your goodbyes to the people. And as you're making your way out of Edoras, they throw Simbelmine in front of you, which are white flowers that grow around Edoras. In front of your horses as you ride out down the winding paths of the city of Edoras and into Rohan itself. Is there anything you'd like to prepare or do before you leave?
I think there's the ritualistic checking of armor and of saddlebags, and double checking every buckle, every strap on the horse, double checking that the mail is shining, that the swords are clean, going through every step, not knowing when you'll have a moment to rest again.
Eofor is gonna take his helmet, this ornately crafted helmet, even more so than most Rohirrim gear. Finely adorned, a gift to him from the king for his service. He's going to take the helmet, and there's this horsehair plume that comes off the back of it. He's going to braid it into a war braid pattern before setting it atop his head, kind of checking at his gear, and then nodding.
And so you set out of Edoras. Now, the most direct route that you can take is to head straight for the Gap of Rohan. You think at a gallop you could do it in a day, although it might kill your horses. So more realistically, it'll probably be closer to 2.5 days, something like that. It depends on the pace that you want to set, and that really is up to you. If you want to gallop the whole way and just try and get there as soon as possible, you can do that. But it's up to you.
I say that we set a swift pace, but make sure that the horses have speed if we need it. I would not want to tire them and then come up against an enemy.
Time is, of course, the prime essence, but still the numbers of the Easterlings have been said to be many. If we ride too swiftly, we draw targets to us before we make it to the wizard. Perhaps some amount of measure might be best.
Yeah, Wolf would just agree with a head, looking at his horse, hoping that this won't be his last ride.
And so you take off on that first day. You start fast, continue at pace, riding across these rolling hills and these streams and these rock formations of the Riddermark everywhere that you go. Your home, your country, you can see for miles in every direction. It's one of the things that you love about this place, the endless horizons and the grass plains and always the great mountains that you can see from everywhere in Rohan. You'll head across West Emnet and then into the West Fold and then onwards towards the Gap of Rohan. And on that first day, a couple of hours pass without any incident. You're riding in a westerly direction, trying to keep your horses well enough rested. So I think something like a canter is reasonable. And you'll continue at that pace, but it's maybe 2 or 3 hours in that you see the first curl of smoke in the distance, and you're reminded of your quest and its urgency, that there is a great enemy in the Riddermark, and that they are everywhere. Now, that curl of smoke is not the direction you're going. It would take you north while you are going west.
Eofor will grit his teeth, seeing the smoke, kind of grinding them for a moment, thinking, considering. Then he'll look sternly to the others. That is not our path. It is only a reminder that we must move forward. There can be no distractions. And he kind of spits the words as if he's not sure that he believes them.
Yes, wise words. Our oath is with the king. He asked us to do something. We must do it. As painful as it is.
What we do is to protect Rohan. Do we not stop and protect these people?
How many towns will be in smoke on our way? 1, 5, 20? If we stop for every every man, we might never make it to the wizard.
In the end, I think he's right. Going to the wizard might save many lives, many more than if we just go and try to be the heroes by ourselves. We must stick to the mission.
You speak wisely, and although my blood boils at it, we must pass by.
And so you do. You see the curl of smoke to your north and ride by it, leaving those people to their fate, whatever it might be. And you continue to ride west. An hour goes by and then another. And that's when you spot your first enemy. You can see another curl of smoke in the direction that you're going. And as you crest the hill, you can see a village in the valley below. There are flames coming from many of the buildings. And you can see a number of strange men on horses with this like shining armor. It looks like gold, though it couldn't be gold. They have these like strange headdresses. And they're kind of riding through the town, and they've gathered a bunch of the villagers into the center of the town, and you can see that there's horsemen kind of riding in a circle around them. Beyond that, there are two wagons, chariots, like thundering around the whole outside of the village in these big circles. Something you've never seen before. Very strange. Some design of the Dark Lord, maybe. The men on the chariots are not the same as the men on the horses. These men on the chariots are have like matted hair. They've got axes. They look actually not dissimilar to the Dunlendings that your people so hate and that you chased away from Rohan centuries ago. This is what you can see down below. As you like crest the hill, one of the men on the horses will like look and he'll shout something to one of the others among his number, who will like turn his great horse. The horse is much bigger than the horses that you have, just this enormous war steed. And the man himself is in this fine golden armor. He has this beautiful long spear that he like raises up in your direction. And there's like this flag or banner that like hangs from the end of it, red with a black serpent, and he alone will ride out from the village towards you with the spear held high.
So he's going alone. No one's following him.
He doesn't look like he's charging. He's riding out slowly, so he's like trotting rather than galloping.
Would raising a banner like that be kind of a symbol of we want to talk?
I think that you know absolutely nothing about Easterlings, so it would be impossible to know what that means. But he's not charging, so that might mean something.
I would turn to the others. I only remember the words of the king. There is to be no discussion. This horse is very big. Charging these people would be suicide. But I think we're faster. I would take my bow, look at my comrades. Should I shoot him? Make our intentions clear.
Not yet. Let him get close. If we start battle while he still rides out, his friends will ride with him. Attack us as one. One man rides out, we kill him easily. Not quite so with 10.
The man continues to ride, and he'll like lower his spear, though not aggressively, and he'll like lean it on his shoulder. He's probably like 30 feet away from you now. You can see that like beneath his like faceplate, his skin is dark. He's got this like black makeup around his eyes. His gear is unbelievably fine, like finer even than the stuff you would see in Gondor. This like long curved sword at one hip, a lance, like this heavy wooden spear in a bag behind him, two actually there, and this fine bow that's also on the back of his saddle. And he'll just like hold on to the center of the pommel of the saddle and like look up. Well, who of you has authority to treat with me?
I think I would look at Eofor, believing that he's the oldest of the group. And I'm not the one for talking. I'm already putting the arrow ready to fire.
I do.
You are one of the horse lords?
Yes, we are.
You can see beyond the people of the village are in our care. We will take them back to our camp. Best that you move along, else something could happen to those people.
What use have you of our people?
Slaves.
Men of Rohan and women of Rohan are slaves to no one.
Not
Well-
so. There are a great many in our camp. All will toil for the Dark Lord.
You must be a mighty warrior to enslave people who can defend themselves. All that armor, I wonder if you ever use it.
If you wish to see, you may strike, though I would not recommend it. There are more of us. And as I say, the people will die.
How many of these Easterlings have we seen so far in the city, in the village?
So it looks like there's 4 Easterling plus this guy, riders, all like similarly equipped, finely equipped. And then the 2 chariots, which are kind of patrolling around the outside. Each chariot has 3 men on it and 2 horses. You'll remember my name. I am Azad. They call me the Serpent. I'm from Far East. You'll remember when you go and tell your king that you fled from me.
Yeah, I think I would look at him in his eyes when he says his name. And I'm like, nah, I shall remember you as whatever the coward. The one who just spoke to me, telling he would kill innocent people to flee from a battle. I will not have it. We will not have it. I will protect Rohan, no matter the costs. And looking at my companions and seeing that no one is reacting, I'll try and shoot it at his face.
Okay, let's roll initiative.
Let's go.
There we go.
Okay, so he sees you go for the bow, Wolf, and you like reach down. Those eyes are quick, and he like shakes his head, and then turns his horse and begins to ride as fast as he can away from you, back towards. He calls out something in a foreign language that you cannot speak, and you see bows are pulled and like fired into the crowd of villagers. As he begins to gallop back, he'll use his horse's dash to get back to the village, to the first building, and he will then turn in his saddle and fire an arrow at you, Wolf. That will almost certainly hit. That's 25 to hit. He will use his Archer's Eye to do an extra die of damage. 15 points of piercing damage from the arrow. This like amazing shot. He's like galloping his horse, and he like turns all the way around this in the saddle and fires once and then twice. The second one is 19. Does that hit you? Yeah. That one will do 7. So he fires these 2 shots at amazing speed and then gallops back to the village. And AF4, your turn.
Would there be any people within riding and dashing range?
If you use, 120 feet will get you to. Oh no, it won't, because he was 30 feet away from you. So 120 will get you to within 30 feet of him, and then a further 60 from him is the pile of villagers.
Alrighty, I'll just move and dash. I can't reach him.
Okay, so you've been galloping.
Can I use my action to dash on a horse? Like, because the horse is a dash, but can I also use my action to dash? Or no?
I don't know. I think you can use your action to. I don't know what the intricacies are. I feel like maybe you can, but that would be 240 feet of movement in 6 seconds, which I just don't understand how that's possible. When you're meant to, you have 2 options.
If you want to just say no, that's fine. I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, I'll just say no. I think like the horse does the moving.
Yeah, so AF4 is gonna like take this spear in his hand, this like incredibly crafted spear, just beautiful. Kind of bringing it up as he's charging, but he's gonna bring his shield up for now. This large shield, put it in front of him, defensively. So I'm gonna move as close to this guy as I can, but dodge.
Okay, no problem. Darwin.
Darren leans forward over Winsong's neck and whispers, and shoots forward, following close behind AF4. And I'm also going to dash and begin maybe angling slightly to the right to curve around this guy.
Okay. So you can hear this like of these horses, and this like wagon behind them, this like chariot. On the back there are 2 men, one with a big axe and the other with like a spear that he holds up, and the third is like whipping the reins to make the horses go faster. They're like barreling around the side of the village, and you can see them now as they like begin to move. One of them's going to throw a spear at you. I have 4 disadvantage. So it'll be a 15.
Nope.
Yeah. So he throws this spear. Like sails past you and thunks into the earth as you're galloping forward. That'll be it. One of the Easterlings is going to make a bunch of attacks at the villagers with his spear. He's just going to like, you see his horse rear up and like kick a villager in the head, and he's going to like stab down twice, killing 2 villagers. One of the archers is going to begin moving away back out 60 feet, so he's 120 from you guys, where you guys are, and he will turn in the saddle and fire at you, Darwin. Did you dodge as well, Taylor?
Yes.
That might still hit. That'll be 19.
That'll hit me.
Ooh, 16 points of piercing. And he'll hit the second one too. Good God. That'll be 12.
Both
So
on
these-
me?
Yeah. These two shots. These guys are obviously like peerless archers. This is what they do best, it seems. And he like stands up in the saddle and like fires behind him as he goes. The other wagon comes around the other side and is going to throw a spear at you, Darwin, but he misses. He like tries to throw the spear, but it sails past you into the earth. This horseman with this like strange headdress, he like wears a red sort of scarf that covers most of his face. He's like lightly armored. He begins galloping around the villagers and towards you. He's got this spear and he's going to try and charge you, AO4. But first he will throw a spear. He'll miss the spear as he throws it, and then he like pulls up another one. He's going to try and smash you. But I think he'll miss with 16.
Miss.
Yep. So he like barrels towards you and like misses you with the spear. It like cracks against your shield. He'll use his horses. He's moved already. That's enough. Okay, and Wolf.
Okay, great. Just a quick question. So as a knight, I have the option of nominating a charge, which is supposed to be a place or something to protect. So I'm thinking the most logical thing is like what should be my charge? What could I name?
Probably
actually name a task as part of your charge as well. So your charge could literally be get the message to Saruman.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay,
that makes sense.
And so the thing I'm wondering is, I can draw inspiration from the charge, but is that an action or is it just free? I just say I'm drawing inspiration from it.
I don't know.
Because it doesn't say. You just say you may draw inspiration from your charge once you have gained inspiration. You cannot do it until the long rest, but it doesn't say if it's an action.
I don't know. Do you know Jeff offhand?
When because I was a knight in your last one, when I did it, I just basically took the inspiration right at the start of the game because it doesn't really matter. So I just basically said like I had it. I didn't worry about actions or not.
That's fine. You can do that, Nico.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see this coward running from me and shooting at me, doing quite a lot of damage actually. And so I would try to do the same, even knowing that he has a very, very heavy armor, and I'm aware it's very hard to hit. But on my first hit, I do a 27.
That will hit.
And 5 damage. Unfortunately, my damage was crap. But then what I can do is I can spend my inspiration and add 3d6s on my damage. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to add 13 damage to the first strike. So 18 damage total. And I'm going to try and shoot it at him again. And it's a 28 to hit on this one.
Yep.
And again, my damage was absolutely crap. And 5 damage again.
Okay. So 2 arrows. One will like hit him in the shoulder and stick. The other one will just like graze against his hand as he continues to fire arrows in your direction. One of the Easterling archers is going to kill 2 people in the crowd. And then he's going to ride back 60 feet from where he is. One of the other Easterlings pulls out the lance from behind him and like puts it under his arm, and he's going to charge towards you, Darwin, with an attempt to spear you. You avoid a crit, but should still hit with a 14 plus 8. So yes.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so he moves 20 feet, which allows him to use his Lancer's Might, which deals an extra 5 damage. Ooh, he rolls real low. That's lucky. So you'll take 10 piercing, but I need you to make me a strength save, please.
I rolled low, 15.
Okay, that's exactly what you need. So like the lance catches you and almost like smashes you from the saddle, like hits you in the shoulder. He rides past you, but you're able to stay in the saddle, luckily. That was the final lancer. Back to the top. Azad, the snake, is going to continue riding into the village. He's going to use his horse's action to dash, so he's 120 feet away, and he's going to fire 2 arrows at you, AO4. Disadvantage. So the first one will be 16, which misses. Second one is 15 on the die both times, so that's going to be 26. He'll use his archer's eye for 9 points of damage. So this arrow smashes into you, and he continues to gallop out the other side of the village now, 120 feet further. So he's 150 from you still. Okay, AF4, your turn.
There's a guy right in my face now, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, AF4 is just going to bring up his finely crafted spear, Freka, and attempt to ram it through this guy's throat. It's going to be a 22.
Yep.
And a 26, which will assuredly hit.
Yep.
He's just going to take 1 billion damage. So the first attack will be 16, the second will be 14 for 30 piercing damage total.
He's badly bloodied, almost dead from those 2 strikes of Freka, the great spear. You like catch him. Go ahead.
Which is great. And then is it, I don't know if it's possible, I don't want to push too much. Is it possible to make a hoof attack against a person on a horse when we're this close? Or
I think the way it works is either your horse attacks or you do.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how it works. That's always how I've done it against the shadow, so that's how I'll do it here. Okay, so that, yeah, you smash Freka into this guy twice, and he's like bleeding badly, near death. Darwin.
So I've got a 22 to hit and a natural 20 on
okay.
the guy who just got me with his lance.
Yes.
He's gonna take a crap ton of damage because she's got this bright, beautiful long sword out. Double the dice for the crit.
Yep.
Okay, so he's gonna take 20, 35 damage.
Okay, roll me d10.
One.
Okay,
They're
so
really good or really bad.
Gonna kill him. So from some shock, so like the sword just like slashes down and like cuts. This is the Haradrim. He's like lightly armored, and so it like cuts through the shoulder and like down into his chest. And you like pull it out, and there's a bright spray of blood, and he like falls from the saddle onto the dirt. His horse, like panicked, runs past you.
Yeah, the blood hits Deorwin, and she feels the spray of it and the warmth of it, and her own blood boils, and she goes into a fury.
Nice. Was that from one attack? That damage?
No, that was 2.
Okay. Okay, no worries. That was Darwin. Okay, this chariot, these 2 horses are galloping towards you, AF4, but they won't get to you this turn. They're going to throw a spear in your direction. You didn't dodge. It'll be an 18 to hit.
Miss.
Okay, yeah, so a spear just narrowly past you as you like are fighting this man who stands near death near you. They will move. The man lifts his like enormous axe, and you can see he like wraps one of the reins around his elbow and like holds the axe in both hands, ready to like cut the legs from your horse. One of the Easterling lancers, the one by you, AF4, is going to disengage right away. 60, and then he's going to try and shoot you twice with arrows. So he gets 14 plus 8 on the first, which will hit. The second one misses. Oh man, these are killing it. You'll take 12 piercing damage. So he like cowardly tactics, like pulls away from you and like drops the spear onto the ground and then like fires a parting shot.
Wait, sorry, real quick. If he disengaged, how was he shooting?
His horse disengaged. Sorry, so you can actually attack him.
Oh, okay.
You can actually attack him because it's his horse took the disengage action.
I was just gonna say, yeah,
Yep.
just to make sure. Okay, yeah, 24 to hit.
Yep.
14 piercing.
Okay, so he actually doesn't shoot you because he dies first. So he like his horse like rises up and then like turns to go and he like turns in the saddle and like tries to pull out his bow, but as he does so, you just like slash into his neck with the spear, and he slumps forward onto his saddle. The horse continues to run. One of the archers who has like moved back is going to fire 2 shots into the crowd, killing 2 more villagers, and he'll move another 60 feet back. The other wainrider is going to gallop around the other side. He's going to throw a spear at you, Darwin, with a definite miss. It doesn't even get close. You wouldn't even notice it. And you see the other, similarly, like a man will like wrap a rein around his hand and then like lift an axe up, ready for a devastating strike. The hard-ring skirmisher is slain. Wolf.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep on. I'll just ride so I'm in visual of this coward, because he's not a snake for me, he's just a coward. And I'm gonna keep shooting at this guy. He's apparently the leader. Maybe if he dies, they'll scatter, who knows. So my first roll was a 26 to hit.
Definitely.
It was 7 damage.
Okay.
And then the second one is a natural 1.
Okay.
So it's a 12.
Okay, that will understandably miss.
And as a bonus action, I can give a command die to someone, which is a d6 that you can use for many things. It can be damage, can be pretty much anything that you want, actually. It's just, yeah, roll ability checks, attack, or damage roll. So I'm going to give, I think I'm going to give it to Eofor, who's in the melee.
Okay, nice. So you call it to Eofor, inspiring him. He will kill your enemies.
Fight on, brother!
The archer, who has like already moved 60 feet out, is going to fire 2 arrows at the crowd, killing 2 more villagers, and then he's going to move another 60 feet away. The other lancer is going to, where is he? He would have attacked. Oh, he's the one who killed the villagers. He's going to ride towards you now, Darwin. He's going to try and lance you. It's a 19 on the die, which will almost certainly hit. He's going to use his Lancer's Might. He has a lot. 19, and I need a strength save. Darwin?
I'm sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 17 for the strength save, if I can do my math.
Okay. Yep, no problem. So once again, you're able to hold on to the saddle as like a lancer smashes his lance into your shoulder and like pierces through your armor. And he will like ride past you using his horse to disengage and move past you. You can make an attack though on him if you like. A reaction.
I would very much like to. It's a 15 on the die, so 23.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll, as he goes past, she feels the blow and swings out 10 damage.
Nice. He'll ride past you and then like begin to turn his horse, obviously readying himself for another charge. That was the last lancer. Back to the top. As of the snake is going to dash his horse, move 120 feet. He's like out of bowshot now, and so he looks like he's just getting out of here. AF4, it's your turn.
All right, AF4 is going to Is there anyone still directly engaged with us, or is the last person just ridden away a little bit?
So Azad is from you, like 240 feet at this stage.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yep, he's gone. The two wainriders are 60 feet each on either side of you, so they're coming around both sides, kind of around you. Both of the archers have moved twice, so they're 120 from you. But this lancer has run 30 feet past Darwin, so he's not engaged at the moment, but he's like close to you guys.
AF4 is going to see him slam the lance into Darwin and then try to ride away and ready. And he doesn't want to give him another opportunity to charge. He's going to swirl his horse around, level down his spear before rushing towards him. And it's going to be 2 28s, which I think should do it.
Just about.
And this is going to be just... I rolled the command die as well for some extra damage. This is just going to be a million. 21 and 19 piercing each for 40 total.
Okay, that will kill him. Okay,
so gonna see the rider like charge past and like ready, and he's just gonna like whip at his horse, bring the lance up, and just like shove it like straight into his chest, like knocking him off the horse, and just like riding past and then kind of whirling back around next to Darwin to ready himself for the incoming chariots.
Yeah, no problem. You knock him off the horse, and then you like flick him off your spear as you continue to ride and pull up next to Darwin. Okay, that was AF4. Darwin, your turn. You can see these two wainriders like approaching from two different sides, and it looks like those impacts are going to be devastating when they hit because there's a lot of force behind them. Other than that, you can see basically that Azad and the archers are like getting out of here as quickly as they can.
So does it seem like I could circle slightly around these chariots and come at them from the side to avoid getting hit?
So mechanically, no. But like, do you know what I mean? Because like the way movement works in 5th edition, they can just like turn whatever angle they want. But yes, you could.
I mean, I'll give it a shot if I can. I've got, 120 feet of movement on the horse?
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you move that far, they won't be able to get you next turn because they're only move 60.
Well, I'm wanting to try and come at them from behind, basically.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yep, so you could with that amount of movement.
Would that be a single? No, never mind.
So your horse's action will be dash, and then you could take your action as normal.
Okay, there we go. 23 and 25 to hit.
Both hit.
That is 28 damage from 2 blows.
Okay. So you like ride around and then like at the side slash in with the sword twice. You like hit the man with the spears. You like slash into his forearm as he tries to protect himself. He's got no shield or anything like that. And that man seems to be near death already from those blows. So that was the Variag Wainrider. As you had said, you were on the right, which is where the Variag Wainriders. The other side is Gorfang Longspear. This like man with like matted hair, almost dreadlocks, and this like thick beard with this huge axe. He is going to now gallop forward, and he's going to smash into AF4 with Wrath and Ruin. This will be unpleasant. He rolls with advantage because he's moved so far. It's going to be a 19 on the die, which for him is a critical hit. Okay, so he's got the spear. He's 17 piercing damage to you. Sorry, slashing damage with his axe. He like brings it overhead and slashes it into you. I'll need you to make me a strength save, and I'll need your horse to make a strength save also.
Alrighty, that is for me going to be 17 plus 9, so 26.
Yep.
Horse is not quite so lucky. It's a 5 on the die, but that's still going to be plus 8, 13.
Okay. So you like hold onto the saddle, but the force of the impact and the two horses smash into the side of yours, and it like rears up, and then it will like fall with a scream down onto the ground. I'll need you to make a dex save, please.
14.
Okay, so you fall, and the horse falls on you, and there's this like agonizing pain as it lands on top of you. You are going to be grappled and prone underneath your horse. It's like kicking out madly, and they will like ride past you. And as they do so, the man with the spear is going to stab it down into you. You are prone, so with advantage. That will be a definite hit with an 18 on the die. For 6 points of damage to you. So the axe like slashes into you, the horses barrel into your horse, and then as you're they're riding by, the guy with the spear like stabs it down into you, hits you in the thigh, and then they just there's just this thundering as they go past you, heading towards Daerfin on the other side. Okay, that was Gorfang. The archer is going to use his action to dash. He is now basically gone from the combat. The wainrider, having its tactics spoiled, is going to try and ignore you, Daerwin, and going to try and run over Eofor. So you can make me a attack, reaction attack.
It's a miss.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons over here. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. It's a rough night.
Okay, so you like slash your sword, but they're going too fast and they ride past you. The horse is going to try and trample Eofor with advantage. One of them will not actually connect with you. It's going too fast. The other will get a 15, which I think also will be blocked by your army.
Yep.
So you like maybe bring up the shield, and the horse will just like trample over top of you. Then the wheel of the wagon is going to try and run over your head. That one will do with an 18 on the die. It's going to be 11 bludgeoning as it runs over your arm, and then we'll go past you. Now I think you can make an opportunity attack from the ground, but you will be at disadvantage.
That is not going to do it with a 12.
Okay. Yep. So the wagon will ride past you. So like basically in the space of like no seconds at all, you've been like smashed from one side, and then just as you like hit the ground, you're like, and then this other chariot barrels over top of you. And you can see from your perch up on the hill, Wolf, that both of them are turning towards you, and they will move in that direction. So that was the Variag Wainrider. Wolf, it's your turn.
Okay. So seeing that, the first thing I'm going to do is shoot at them, at one of the chariots, the guys on the chariots. There are 2 people on each chariot, right?
There's 3 on each chariot. There's 1 who's got a spear, 1 who has a big axe, and 1 who's like driving the chariot.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and shoot the one who's riding it. So the first hit would be 26.
Yes.
For 9 damage.
Okay.
And the next one is 14, not 40.
40, I'm like, oh my god. 14 will miss, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then seeing that they're charging for me, I don't know if I would know this, but do I feel like I could run from them, or they would inevitably just catch up?
I actually don't know the answer to this. I don't know if 2 horses pulling a chariot are faster than 1 horse running. Probably not. Maybe over short distances. I don't actually know the answer. Mechanically, they are as fast as your horse.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to try and do is kite them. I'm just run, and then if they keep running, I'm just going to keep running and shooting at them, and then eventually, if they run away from me, I'm just going to go back.
Okay, no problem. It's a smart tactic. That's what I would do. So they're like barreling towards you, these wainriders. That was Wolf. Eofor, you're on the ground, your horse is screaming, and now there's just like this like ringing, and you like open your eyes and there's nothing above you anymore.
Yeah, so he's like partially in a daze. Like he's just been like, he's brought the shield up to like not kill him, but he's still taking like the full weight of a horse and then like a wheel over his arm. So he's like quite dazed, I would imagine. He's just going to like try to put a hand down onto the horse to try to calm it. I imagine he's been with this horse for quite some time at this point, so he would have a good sense on how best to do that. Just trying to get it calm so he can get out from under it.
Yep, you can make me animal handling.
That's a 1, so 7.
Okay, so the horse is just like panicked. It's like been smashed over and like it's been trampled by other horses and it's like losing it. Like you're like trying to calm it and like turns its head to try and bite at you. It's like freaking out. So you can try and like pull yourself out from under it, but it is not going to help.
Yeah, I will still do that.
So athletics to break the grapple. And what's your horse's athletics?
Well, its strength is +4, so it'd be
+8, I think.
+8 if we're counting my bonus to it.
Yes.
I don't know if you would in this situation still.
We are indeed. It's just like a better horse. It's
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got 26.
It rolls a natural 20. Better there than when it tries to kick you. But yeah, so it's just like too heavy. And even for a man of your strength, the horse is like far too strong. And you're like stuck under it for now. Darwin.
Darwin will come to Eofor's aid. She'll come down and grasp the horse by the reins and try and basically coax / pull it off of him. Much easier for her, I presume, than for him from the ground, trying to get him out from underneath it. I don't know if you want animal handling or strength or what.
That depends on your approach. Are you trying to calm the horse or are you trying to like pull it off him?
Yes.
What are the other?
I'll calm it.
Okay, animal handling then.
18.
Okay. So you are able to like come down to it and like maybe whisper to it and like between your efforts and Eofor's are able to like slowly calm the horse and it will eventually like rise back to standing. And you can say Eofor underneath, no longer pinned by the horse. Okay, that's your action and you've moved. Is that it for you?
Yeah, I suppose maybe bonus action swing back up on her own horse.
Sure. Yep. You can see these wainriders are like galloping now towards Wolf. One of them is going to throw some spears. But I think both of them miss. One gets a 16, which I think still misses you, does it? Wolf?
Oh, no. If it's me, my AC is 15.
Oh, Wolf, what are you doing? Yeah, okay, so the spear.
I'm a ranger, man.
Spear
No,
sails through the air and only does minimum damage, so it'll do 5 piercing to you. The other misses the first. The second is a natural 20. That'll be 19 damage from that spear. Jesus. And they will use their horses' actions to dash, so they'll be 120 from you. These distances melt my brain. I'm like really bad at this stuff, so it's all kind of in my head and I know vaguely, but like if you need exact distances, I don't know. They're running real fast after you. That's gonna be their turn. Wolf.
Yeah, that spear. I'm just gonna run from them while shooting at them. Hopefully, I can drop the driver, so
yep,
it causes something. So the first arrow is gonna be a 21.
Yep.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
And the second one is a 23 for 10 damage.
Okay, yeah. So that third arrow that you hit at this driver, like the first one like grazed his shoulder, the second one his side, the third hits him in the center of the chest, and he like falls back from the platform, and he like into the dirt. You see the two men like begin like shouting, and like one of them has the rein wrapped around his hand or around his arm with the axe, but he doesn't have full control, and the horses like start to swerve sort of crazily, and it looks like they're going to lose control. I'm going to make them do an animal handling check, which they fail. So you can see like the two warriors who like think it's beneath them to like control the horses, like that's not their job. One of them like with the big axe just like pulls roughly on the reins, and the horses like turn too sharply in one direction, and there's like this as the like chariot lifts off the ground for a moment, but lands back under the ground. But they are slowed and no longer as effective. AF4.
I don't actually know in 5e. Is it an action to get on the horse, or is it just like an interaction?
It's half your movement.
Okay, so I'm going to use half my movement to stand, and then the other half to get on the horse,
Yep.
if I can.
Yeah.
But then I still have the horse movement.
Yes.
So if I'm close enough, which I think I'm like exactly there, I'm going to see their chariot kind of land in slow, and see that as my opportunity to go up and make somebody have a real bad day.
Yep. If you use your horse's action to dash, you will exactly catch them.
Alrighty, I will do that. So he's gonna like see the chariot slow, wrath and vengeance in his eyes, ride up and see that axeman who dealt him such a vicious blow before, bring up his spear and try to return the favor. I'm guessing that's guessing those are gonna hit 29 and 27.
Yep, just barely.
And that is gonna be 34 total, 18 and 16 piercing.
And is this going to be to it's the stop chariot, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
34, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He's still standing, though barely. Like these two brutal spear strikes, and he like snarls something at you in this like guttural language that you do not speak. Darwin.
Okay, so this one where AF4 is within my reach, the other one is farther, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I will circle towards the one where AF4 is engaged. Will an 18 hit this guy with the axes?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That is 15 damage on him.
Okay. That's going to kill the axeman, so only the spearman remains. He looked horrified that you've killed that axeman. He's obviously important. You can see he has like arm rings of gold as he like falls onto the dirt slashed by your sword, and the spearman looked worried at these horse lords all around him. It will be Gorfang, who is the one who is chasing. So the chariot will move as fast as it can, which is 120. Bringing it to within 60 of you. It will never catch you because of the way this game works. So you can run literally infinitely and it'll never get to you, Wolf. But it will continue to throw spears. So one misses, another natural 20. I shit you not. Luckily, we're not using the crit tables in this one. It's going to be 13 damage from the spear. And this spear thrower will be remembered, and they will sing songs of him back home for his insane accuracy. Okay, that was Gorfang. The last remaining spearman in that chariot is going to grab his spear in both hands. He's going to try and stab your horse, Darwin. He has advantage on his horses. He gets a 13 plus 7 is 20 to hit your horse.
I don't hit the horse.
There'll be 8 damage to your horse. He like calls out some curse and like shoves it into your horse, defiant until the end, which will be very soon. Wolf, your turn.
So your wolf is 2 javelins in the body, probably coughing blood, but there's no time to think about pain. Only death in this battlefield. The villagers dead. and I'm watching my comrades fighting. I keep running and keep shooting at them. There's no other things to do for me. So the first strike's gonna be, I'm hitting on the javelin dude because this guy is very painful. It's 25
That hits.
for 9 damage.
Okay.
And the second strike is a 16.
Oh,
So it's for 5 damage.
okay. He's still up. The 2 arrows in him.
And in bonus action, I'm gonna give another command dice to. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to AO4 because he's dealing so much damage. Maybe he can one-shot someone.
Let's hope.
In this.
Okay. So you hear a call from the distance. AO4, finish them. And it's your turn.
So, important question, because it's my turn now. Does command dice double with crits?
All dice double with crits.
Ooh. Yeah, because that's a natural 20 on this poor spearman who's going to take just a million. And 28 piercing with the first attack.
Okay.
And then if that is not enough, that's a 23 to hit on the next one for 13 more.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, it's just one like spear like down in the leg, like drops into a knee, pulls it out and just jams it like down through his collarbone and into his chest.
Yeah, he falls into the chariot. The horse is sort of panicking and trying to get away from you guys as you like gallop next to them. Darwin.
Who's left?
So there's a chariot chasing after Wolf.
Okay.
It's 120 feet from where you are.
So if my horse moves and dashes, then I can still attack, right? Mechanically? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I see it thundering behind Wolf, and I will engage it. I don't think a 14 will hit, but a 24 will, presumably. So she comes up behind it, and are there 3 people in this one still?
2. The driver is dead.
Okay, that's right. This was the one that's a little slower now.
Mm-hmm.
So I will go for the spearman in this one. That's 13 damage.
Going to kill the spearman. So it's just the axeman remains in the back of this chariot. Okay, and it's his turn. He's going to turn and he's going to swing his axe with both hands at your horse's legs. He'll get a 20 to hit on the first and a 19 to hit in the second.
Fine. Always with the horses, Lloyd. Always with the horses.
Listen, man. That's how it works. 17 damage to the horse.
Ooh, that one hurt.
So he like takes the axe in both hands. He's just like, he can see you with the sword. This is not his first rodeo. He just like lifts high and you like bring your sword up a block, and then he just like slashes down low at the horse's legs. That's Gorfang. Okay. Variag is dead. Wolf. You can see Darwin coming to your rescue. She's like now engaged, and you can see like the one axeman fighting her.
Yes, so I see him actually hitting the horse. That infuriates me. They attack villagers, and then now they attack the horse. I just stop running, and I look at him. Probably he's not looking at me, but I'm just like, no, this is not possible. And I'll just take 2 shots, but if I can, like, mechanically it's just normal shot, but I'm trying to aim for the head of this guy.
Sure.
I want to kill him so bad. It's 25 and 23 to hit.
Both hit.
And it's 11 damage and 5 damage. So 16 damage total.
Yeah, so 2. One will like graze his cheek, and the second will like slice into his ear, and like you'll see Darwin looks like this chunk taken out of his ear. Though he doesn't turn, he shouts in anger and in pain, but still faces you. AO4.
Alrighty, AF4 is going to ride up and join the party. See this last axeman. He's going to end him, probably. So it's going to be modified 20 and then 28.
2 hits.
For 15 and then 16 damage for 31 total piercing.
That is going to kill him. So the final charge, AF4 comes up behind and shoves a spear into the back of this guy. He's like slashed and pierced with arrows, and now with the spear, he hits the back of the chariot. The horses will like panic, but eventually will like slow, and we are out of initiative.
Yeah, AF4 is just like covered in blood. A good number of it his, and a good number of it other people's. He's like breathing heavily, still kind of rattled from being knocked over and stomped on. But he's just gonna like look back to the town and say, "I'm gonna go check on them, make sure that there's nothing else happening over here," and begin like riding towards the town.
Yeah, you can arrive and you'll see that Azad and the archers are long gone. You can't even see them on the horizon now. So they have obviously fled. There are 10 dead villagers, but there's still about 30, 40 that remain. They're like huddled together. You can see like some of the men have like grabbed sticks or like pitchforks and things and like standing sort of protectively around the women and children. And they'll see you approach, and one of them will look up. Thank you.
It is not right for Rohirrim to be enslaved. We are a free people and we will remain so.
They killed many. Who are they? What are they?
Strange people from the east. They serve the Dark One.
Are they gone? Did you kill them?
Three of them fled, escaped away from here. They're too far now. The rest of them are finished.
Are you wounded, Lord?
I'll be okay, he says, and then coughs up blood.
Well, you can stay here. We'll cook you a meal.
We're on urgent business. I don't know if we have the time. He's going to kind of like look back. If his comrades followed, he would look to them.
I think Eorwin has finished her kind of little loop that she was making to just see if she could spot those 3 who'd left. And she comes up about this time. What time of day is it at this point, Lloyd?
It's late afternoon, getting into evening.
And she'd kind of look at AF4. We could stay for the night. I don't know when we'll find another hot meal. You look certainly as though you might need it, and the horses could use the rest.
Yes. Perhaps a bit of rest for the night wouldn't be too bad. Plus, if those Easterlings come back, they'll have us to answer for.
So the villagers will go about preparing like a place for you to stay. It's humble, not like what you're used to, but it's still warm and cozy. And like they'll sit with you and eat with you. They'll prepare this like broth. It's not delicious, but it's hearty. It's very stodgy, lots of potatoes and like fatty meat in this like stew type thing. And there's infinite amounts of it, and so they'll give you as much as you want. They'll see some of their boys like see to your horses and things like that, like rub them down, etc.
Wolf would be gathering the arrows that he shot, trying to salvage whatever he can. But most importantly, I think he would be looking after his horse and the horse of those who attacked him if they didn't just run. fascinated by the size of them, the size of those beasts. And I wouldn't let anyone approach my horse and take care of it myself, even if I'm fucked up.
The big difference between the horses of the chariots and the horses that the Easterlings had. The Easterling horses are like big, heavy war steeds, like heavily muscled, very aggressive, while the chariot horses are like smaller, almost like ponies, like small, though you think like very, like lots of stamina, like they could run for a very, very long time, sort of shaggy little horses. So a big difference in the two horses. They obviously come from very different places.
Yeah, Wolf would, if one of those horses didn't run away, if he could come near one of those that they were using for the chariot, he would just touch his head on the head of the horse calmly and kind of say, "I'm sorry. They're using you in a way that they shouldn't. They don't respect you. They shout at you. They have no respect for what you are. I hope that you find a home and that you can be free."
You can have inspiration. The villagers are keen to look after those horses, and they say they'll bring them to the local holdfast if you wish. Other than that, like they'll keep them to work on their farms and things like that. It's really up to you guys. Though you think war horses are like ill-fitted for farm work.
So this is kind of more of a question outside. Would it be within reason at this point? I don't really know exactly if Rohan has specific stuff for this or not off the top of my head. Would it be reason to have these people like evacuate this place? It seems pretty small and ill-defended. Therefore, would, at least if it would be within his power and within tradition, would want to try to get them to safer places.
Yeah, it's hard to know what the closest place is. Maybe it's Edoras, although maybe it's somewhere else. They would know, and you can tell them to evacuate. Definitely, like you're a lord of this place, and so they'll do what they're told.
Yeah, AF4 would have people, anybody who's not like absolutely necessary, evacuate, head towards safer places, hopefully places with walls and soldiers, not just villagers who are easily raided by these people. He doesn't want any more death or slavery to happen.
As you say, Lord, we'll go in the morning. Where'd they come from, Lord? Why are they here?
They've made bargains with the Dark One. They do his will. They work through his plans. They've come here under his command, bring destruction.
Did they attack Edoras?
They haven't yet, correct?
Not yet. Well, not when you had left.
Yeah. No, not yet. They have been making their way towards it and other larger settlements. Will certainly be a target, though not quite yet, at least to our knowledge.
And that's where we'll go. Can we take the horses, Lord? It'll make us quicker and carry our things.
Yes, take anything you can. They will certainly come back to this place. The less we have here for them, the better.
Yes, Lord. So you can eat as much as you want of this stew and like sleep on straw. It's cozy, like by the hearth. You like sleep with hounds. In like the long hall of this little village, unnamed. This will be a short rest. Yep. And you can sleep here for the night. until morning comes. We'll take a quick break there, and we'll head off again in the morning. Not orc shitlords, that's for sure.
Yep, definitely not.
I always figure, like, when I think about this, like, that the orcs, what their strength is numbers, but like the Easterlings always strike me as like Persia, you know, or like with like super heavy cavalry and like amazing sort of archer tactics from horseback, and like I think they're like some of the more elite troops that Sauron commands.
Yeah, it's always interesting in a 5e combat when you have enemies actually like play to their strengths. Like the dude's just like, well, I'm 30 feet away from you and we're both on a horse, so I'm just going to shoot arrows at you from outside your range forever.
Yeah.
And then when it starts to look bad, I'm just going to peace out. Like,
yep. That's, I find very tricky about particularly horse combat, because the distances are so great. It's very hard in my mind to like piece it together, like how like you're moving 120 feet and you're making attacks and all this other stuff. It's like, what's happening? I think the combat rules or the mounted combat rules are really generous in 5e. Because your horse gets actions and you get actions, you know. So like you can. I'm not sure what the story is. Like I don't know if you can move and your horse can move, because that would be like 180 feet.
I would imagine probably no, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, this damage bonus is real nasty. I have plus 11 damage modifier.
That's insane.
Yeah. 5 from my strength, 2 from one of my virtues, 2 from dueling, and then 2 from the birthright spear.
Good God.
Yeah, just a million damage.
That felt dirty. I thought that those chariots are scary, man. It's like such a devastating tactic. You can run over your horse and then run over you.
Yeah, it was scary for a second there. Like Just can't even imagine being like stuck under a horse, just seeing this chariot full of dudes just like going straight at you and just like, oh god, like pull in and pray to the gods that your shield and your armor and pure chance will get you there.
Oh man, those chariot tactics where they just slam into you, was brutal.
I think that the Variags, the wainriders, are like the same people as the Rohirrim. Like they're the same stock. Like they all come from the Eorred, is that what they're called? From like up north of where Mirkwood was, and like the Rohirrim went this way and the Variags went that way. So I think they're the same kind of people.
Dirty traitors.
I don't think they get enough spotlight, like the weird people who live in the East in Tolkien stuff. Like they only get mentioned as like, here are more men who work for Sauron, but there's actually like a lot of cool stuff there.
Like, do you find the information about it in Silmarillion or in what?
Everything. Wiki spirals mostly.
Okay.
Yep.
Wiki spirals and like video games and stuff is where I got most of it.
Oh, nice.
The Middle Earth wikis are actually pretty good. Are actually pretty nice.
They're really
I
good.
can find that easier to navigate than trying to like dig through like 18 different books and games and everything to like try to.
Yep.
Just so much.
Okay, so you rest easy that night. Well, maybe not easy, but you rest comfortably. And you can awake just before dawn the next day. Your horses are all rested, and you can head off westwards into the West Fold. You've exited West Emnet, and you're heading out into the West Fold. The country doesn't change that much, much the same. It's like endless sprawling grassland with the mountains to your south. And now to your north as well. The bottom of the Misty Mountains is visible, and the White Mountains to your south as you ride. You notice that you see more of those sort of spires, those curls of smoke as you ride. So obviously quite a few more villages are like under attack. It seems like, I mean, gauging from what they had there, that was, you know, a small force, a very small force. And if it takes that many to take a village, then every village in Rohan potentially is taken. But sticking to your mission, you will like ride on westwards. And we're going to do a skill challenge to like navigate and not get like caught by these Easterlings who seemingly are everywhere. So I will require 5 successes before 2 failures. And the appropriate skills that I will allow, I'll put in the chat. So you tell me what skill you're going to use and how you're going to use it, and then roll dice. You cannot use the same skill twice unless somebody fails it, then you can use it.
Unless someone's like just jumping at it. I just rolled. I'm gonna go for perception, and it's gonna be a 17. Just trying to keep vigilant.
Okay. You're like riding through, but it's hard in this like trackless expanse everywhere that you look to like see everything at all corners. And at one stage as you're riding, you like are down in a valley, and you realize as you like look up on top that there are some Easterlings there, and you begin to like ride hard, and they begin to follow. That's a fail. You're the level 10. Everyone's like, what?
Darwin is perhaps after that a bit more vigilant, and will a 20 do it?
20 will. Yeah, what did you roll?
Rolled an 11.
No, I mean, was it perception?
Yes, perception.
Okay. So you begin to like gallop hard, and like you start to lose them, and their like heavy horses with their armor and such are like unable to keep up with your lighter horses, and you like gallop through like a copse of trees, and like you cross a stream and things like that, and eventually you lose them. And there, when you like keep an eye out for like natural places to hide along your way, and you're able to do so. Okay, Nicholas.
So if I'm animal handling is another one that we can choose, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna use that, and it's a 22.
Okay.
I'm probably very close to my horse. I understand him very well, and I'm relying on his sense of smell or anything that he seems hearing, anything that he thinks is suspicious, anything like that.
Perfect. And I think also with like your skills, you're able to manage the tiredness of the horses and like not exhaust them, which is like really important when you're galloping and like moving at such a fast pace. You've got like an innate ability to understand like when your horse is exhausted or when it needs a break and things like that. And so between your horse's like awareness and your own skills, you're able to keep going.
All right, this one's luckily higher on the die. So I'm rolling insight for this one. So like I think at this point, Eofor is, we're not that familiar with these people, but he's at least seen enough, and he's like a very experienced warrior. He's kind of starting to get a sense for maybe how these people are acting, where they're looking, how their strategies kind of are. Just trying to get into that. That's a modified 20.
Okay. Yep. So you, having seen them like on ridges a few times and things like that, and also having interacted with them, you start to get an idea of like how they act, and you can kind of preempt it a little bit, like where they might be. And once or twice you see that you are successful in that. Like you think, if I was them, I would be over here. And then when you see, you like hide in a copse of trees until they pass, and are able to succeed.
So Eorwin is trying to remember anything about these Easterlings, these agents of the shadow, and what she remembers is wrong. She remembers that they like to move in the daytime when they move at night, and she sets us on the wrong path. And I rolled a 2 on the dice.
Okay, so you set you guys on the wrong path, and you are like down in this valley. You're like moving, thinking that if you like move in sort of a zigzag pattern or something like that, they won't be able to track you. But as you like are moving through that valley, you can hear this, and you can see like up on a hill, there are several Easterlings like looking down, and they kick their horses, and we roll initiative. Me just typing for 100 years.
That does not give me a lot of hope for this.
Hey, so there's 5 of them up on this hill, and they begin barreling down towards you. In this like sort of V formation at the front, one of them has this like banner, and you can see it's like golden, and it has an eagle emblazoned upon it, and he like rides at their head. But at his side, one of these Easterlings pulls. They have these like really short little bows that are like curved several times, and he like pulls it and will fire. That's a 17 against you, AO4, and a miss. 17, does that hit?
Nope.
Okay, so there's a pretty significant distance. They're 120 feet away from you at this stage after he's moved. And so he's like trying to shoot, and these arrows into your shield. And it's your turn, A4.
All right, A4 is going to see them charging. He's going to like look to the others, realizing that there's not really much they can do here other than try to take these people out and get back to being hidden. He's going to turn his horse towards them and try to meet them in a charge. He's going to go for this banner-wielding person who seems to be, at the very least, the leader of this small group. And try to make him have a real bad day. Going to be 22 and 25.
He will parry the 22, but 25 will hit.
All right, so it's going to be 14 piercing, and then I'm going to action surge, make 2 more attacks for a 28 and a natural 20/31.
Okay. These high-level games are so ridiculous.
Yeah. It's going to be 12 more piercing from the first attack, and then for the crit is going to be, ooh, that's a lot. 23. Yeah, 23.
Jesus.
It's just with this like insane accuracy and speed. Just the first spear shot hits, the second one is parried, but then another 2 quick strikes just smash into this guy.
Nice. Yep. He's like quick with the blade, and he like parries the first strike, but then there's this insane these 3 spear thrusts that get through his armor, which is like thick and gleaming. Next to him, one of them is going to raise his spear and hit you with it. Hopefully. It's a 19 and a 21.
19 misses, 21 exactly hits.
It'll be 8 piercing damage from his spear. That's his turn. Done. He's going to stay where he is. Darwin.
So was the first one in melee with AO4? Or was that spear thrown from a distance?
It was a bow shot. It was, yeah, from distance.
Okay.
So they're all kind of together in a formation at the moment, and AO4 is like in the middle of them.
Yeah, favoring the right side once more, Darwin goes around to the side and comes in at one of these riders, which is on the edge, missing with her first strike, but her second one, she sees his weakness, and that's a natural 20 for 15 damage.
Hey, can you roll me a d10? Exactly half hit points.
Ew. 5.
Stunned. Almost sure, so I'm just going to assume it's right. Okay, yeah, so you like rush up with your sword and like slash, and he like tries to bring his sword up to block, and it slashes into his shoulder, and there's like this spurt of blood, and he's trying to control his horse. Okay, one of these. Oh, I skipped one, didn't I? Did. Yep. One of these riders will go, and he will slash it at AO4. Oh, no, I didn't skip one. Never mind. Big dumb idiot. Braga, Eagle Eye, their leader with the eagle banner. He is going to pull out this like curved sword, strangely curved, and will slash out at you 3 times. 4, 25 on the first, 26 on the second, and only 13 on the third, so he'll hit twice. He'll use his martial superiority on his first strike to do 4d6 extra damage. Oh boy. 23 for the first, and 11 for the second. So he, almost as quick as you, like recovering from the strikes, he like brings out his sword and this insane technique. He's like, all these feints, his sword is like light compared to like the heavy blades that you're used to. And so he's able to like swing and then like move at the last second and these insane sort of parries and feints, and he's able to like slash into you. That was Braga. Wolf.
So Wolf is gonna stay behind, like always. This is the strategy, apparently.
He talks a big game for a man who never gets into melee combat.
And just like my colleague here, I see this leader proudly going with a banner, and I'm thinking, oh, this guy just is asking to be shot. So
Go for it.
So my first shot is gonna be a 16. I don't know if that hits him.
A 15 misses.
No, a 16.
Yeah, that also his AC is 20.
Yeah. So the second shot is a 26, so that's enough. And it's 11 damage, but then again, I'm going to use my inspiration to do the 3d6s more. And it's 12 damage more. So it's a total of 23 damage. And I'm going to, I'm going to accenture. I'm going to try and kill this guy as fast as possible.
Do it.
Just arrow after arrow after arrow. And both of them 20.
Those two hits.
Yep, great. So I'm going to keep and trying to kill this guy. 10 damage and 5 damage. And then, I'm going to give a command die to AO4. The good old more damage, even more damage from...
All right, so these arrows like fly and like hit, and then all these arrows, you see AO4 like whiz one of them right past your ear and like catches him in the shoulder, and like knocks him back ever so slightly. The final rider by you is stunned, so he will do nothing. Darwin, we're back to the top. That archer is going to put his bow away, and he's going to pull out his spear. He's going to ride out of the melee and around. He's going to try and charge into the back of you, AO4. That's going to be 25 to hit. Man, it's really like, so usually when I run games, the bad guys are peons. Like they're really not very effective, but these guys are really scary. It's really satisfying to use guys who are so effective. It's going to be 15 piercing damage, and I need you to make me a strength save. He used his Lancer's might.
It was going to be 16.
So you're just able to hold on. He like hits you in the shoulder with his spear, and you're able to just like barely hang on, like put your feet into the stirrups hard, and stay in the saddle just about as he rides past you. AO4, it's your turn.
AO4 is going to like feel the smash of the lance from behind, kind of falling forward onto his horse. He's actually going to stay there for just a second to take a couple of quick breaths, use a bonus action to second wind, gain some health back before like leaning back up on his horse. And he's going to attempt to let Braga have the rest of it if he can. And the first attack is, I rolled just a 20, but just in case he tries that parry again, I used the command die for a d6, so it's actually going to be 25.
Okay, that's exactly out of his parry range.
All right, and then the second one is 26, just natural on the die.
Yep, so 2 hits.
Yeah. All right, and that's going to be 15 and then 18 damage, so 33 total piercing.
He's still up. Though barely. He's like badly wounded. He's been stabbed several times, got arrows sticking out of him. But this is a hero of the Easterlings, a celebrated warrior king. Okay, that's AO4. The Easterling rider is going to slash at you with his spear, AO4. for a 16, which misses, and a 20 exactly, which I think also misses, right? 21 is AC.
21 AC, yep.
This game, yo. So he's like trying to hit you with the spear, but he's unable to. It's just like bouncing off your shining Rohirric plate. Darwin.
So you said the guy next to me is stunned, right?
Yes, he's not anymore. He was stunned for his turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Darn. Well, Darwin will attack at him, swinging her sword, but he knows her tricks and parries both of her blows easily.
Okay, no problem. I'm glad to hear it. Braga is going to unleash another flurry of insanity upon you, Eofor, hoping to fell you. He gets a miss for the first. 19 on the die for the second, which is a definite hit. And 14 plus 9 is a 25. So he'll hit twice. He'll use his martial superiority. 8, 10, 14, 15, 26 slashing damage. This insane flurry from this like curved sword. It's able to like find purchase like over your shield and like it flashes at your hand and stuff, like all these tactics that you're like unfamiliar with. Strange way of fighting. This is obviously an excellent swordsman. That's gonna be Braga. Wolf.
Keep firing at this dude. Hopefully dropping him, because I think Wolf would see that he's a very, very skilled swordsman, and he's kind of not sure about this. So, and I missed both. Yeah, not good.
You can hear the bad guy music playing as the arrows like whiz past him, and he like lifts his sword again. The Eastling rider at the end is no longer stunned. He's like parried some of the blows from Darwin. He's going to lash out at you with a miss and a natural 20. Hell. This is my new dice. It's going to be 11 slashing Darwin as he slashes out with his spear, actually not a sword. That was the last rider. Initially, this is here. So that first rider by you, Eofor, is going to slash out at you. He bottles both strikes. He's trying to slash at you. He's then going to move away from the melee, and his horse will disengage, and you can attack him if you wish as a reaction. And he's going to start charging towards Wolf, drawing a bow. You there, Jeff? I think it's disconnected. I'll get him when he comes back. That's his turn. Oh.
Right.
Ah,
I think
there we go.
Am I back? Hello?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah,
Did you catch
so I
that?
heard the opportunity attack.
Yes.
Yeah, I could hear you guys still for some reason.
Okay.
That's actually only a 16 to hit.
So he'll miss. He'll like duck under the strike and begin riding, and he will pull his bow and start running, riding towards Wolf. Eofor, your turn.
Alrighty. Eofor is with wrath in his eyes for this strange swordsman. His flurries, his strange strikes. It's just going to bring his spear up, hopefully for the final couple times. It's 2 28s to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So 15, then 16. No, 15, then 17 for 32 piercing.
He is dead.
Yeah, like he's just like making all these like quick swings, and like finally, he kind of gets a sense for how these strikes are moving. How he's not used to the style, but he picks up quickly, and he's gonna like bring the spear in to kind of move the sword away before like jabbing it up on like underneath the shoulder, the like part under his arm. Just stab in with the spear for one last time.
Nice. Yeah, he falls. Braga Eagle Eye, famous swordsman, with a spear under his armpit, and he'll like fall from the saddle onto the dirt. You'll see many of the Easterlings around like call out in horror. That was AO4. One of these riders is going to. He moved out of the combat. He's going to move back in to charge you again, AO4. He misses his second, but he'll hit with the first. He'll use his Lancer's Might to do 11 piercing and a strength save from you, please.
That is 15 on the strength.
Okay, that's exactly enough. So you're just able to hang on as he tries to like dismount you from the saddle. Darwin.
So this rider is still in front of me, yes? He's not one of the ones that's moved. Will the 16 hit?
It will not. It'll miss.
Okay, but the 23 will, I presume. So she'll this time come around from the left side with her blow, and she'll find an opening that's going to be 20 damage.
Ooh, that's going to
max damage. Ooh.
Kill him. So you'll just cleave him like down from the shoulder into the chest, and he'll just like slip out of the saddle onto the dirt, into the this flowing grass beneath. That's him dead. Hey, that rider is moving towards Wolf. He's going to fire his shots. Wait, is that right? No, it's Wolf's turn, sorry.
Okay, so seeing that Braga Eagle Eye is dead, and then that someone want to trade arrows, I'll gladly do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure I'm going to touch him. My first shot is an 18.
That misses.
Yeah, and the one is even worse, so I'll just keep shooting and missing, cursing, and thinking that I'm useless, but I'm going to keep trying.
I think you're probably hitting, but his armor is so heavy that like it's deflecting the strikes, and you're not used to fighting such heavily armored foes, and so they're like bing, bing, hitting off the armor as he's galloping towards you. The Easterling rider at the end is dead. Back to the top. This is the one who's charging towards you. He's going to fire some arrows at you. Wolf, that'll be an 18 to hit and a more than that. So that's he'll use his archer's eye. Ooh, 15 piercing damage from that one. And 9 from the second. So these two arrows from his like little bow, it's like obviously made for being used on horseback. It's like short and like has several curves, so he's able to pull with much more force as he rides. AO4, your turn. Jeff. The Dodie curse.
Not again.
What you gonna do? It's the same curse as the Kaios curse, you know?
And the Chekhovian curse.
Yes, yep. 1d4 times per game, they will disconnect. Okay, so I'll skip AO4 for now. The Easterling rider next to... Oh, here we go. Jeff. Maybe.
Hangouts is taunting you.
Oh,
Yeah. Uh-oh.
hello. Sorry.
Oh, you are a robot.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It was going so well for a while.
It's all good. It is your turn.
Yep. So he's going to have the brief smile as he's just finished off Braga, but then take this another lance hit. He's going to whirl around on his horse, turning it towards him, and try to mess him up. It's going to be a 26 and a natural 20.
Those will both hit.
Yes, so that is going to be 17 damage, and then 16 damage. Ironically, less damage with the crit, but that's still... oh god, math.
He's dead.
33 damage.
Okay, you slash him down. You like shove the spear in through his heart and out the other side, and he falls down out of the saddle into the grass. There's only 2 of them left now. That was AF4. This Easterling rider is the one who's just been slain. Darwin. You can see that there's one heading towards Wolf, and the other is now like between you and AF4.
The one that's riding towards Wolf had the bow out, right?
Yes.
It's like charging him. I'm gonna charge him.
He's actually too far away.
Okay.
Yep. So he's moved twice.
Oh, he's moved twice. Okay, I didn't get that. Well, turning her horse to the one that's in front of AF4, she is off balance, I think, and just clings against his armor, not finding the ease that normally comes to her.
Okay. His Easterling armor saves him, which seems to be the case with these riders. Their heavy armor is very effective against your weapons. Braga is dead. Wolf.
Wolf is continuing to fire at this guy and continuing, like the arrow just keep hitting the armor, and just frustrated, looking at what can he do. What can he do? Like,
What can men do against such reckless hate?
Exactly.
Are you moving on your turns? I assume you're moving away from him.
Yeah, I'm always gonna do that. Like if someone's charging me, I'm just so bad at melee that there's no way for me just to go in melee. So if I can run, I'm just running.
Yep, that's what I've assumed. Okay, cool. So you're galloping away and firing behind you as he chases after you. The Easterling rider is slain. Back to the top. This Easterling rider still lives. He's the one charging towards you. He looks back for a moment, sees that his allies are dead, and he turns his horse away from you and away from the combat, like he's going to flee, and he's going to dash in that direction. So if you're looking at him, it's to your right that he's fleeing, Wolf. AF4. There's one still between you and Darwin.
AF4 is going to see the other fleeing, but see that he's too far to give chase, and that there's still one here. So he's going to turn his horse towards him, level his spear towards him, whip at the horse to get into a charge, and try to take him down. The lowest is going to be a 20 modified.
Those both hit then.
Alrighty, so it's going to be 16, then 18, so 34.
He is dead. Jesus. So you're able to stab the spear through this one also, going through the armor like butter, and another Easterling dies on Freka. And they will learn to fear that spear, the Easterlings. Okay, he is dead. Now the other one is 120 feet away from Wolf. No, sorry, he's further than that because Wolf has been running. So he's actually 240 feet from you, Wolf, and he's further from the other two. So at this stage, I don't think it's realistic that anyone's going to catch him. We could go through 10 rounds of combat of you firing arrows, but I think realistically he'll just get away. So he gallops away, and you can meet up again together after the slaughter.
AF4 is going to ride up to the rest of you, breathing quite heavily, just blood just seeping from cuts in the armor and from open spots, arrows and puncture wounds from the lance, just all over, just covered. He's clearly very badly injured. He's going to say, "We have to go. They're going to get help. They're going to bring more. We have to hurry."
We must keep going west. We cannot stop.
And west, go ahead.
I would just think Wolf is gonna apologize, thinking that he's he's being a burden. He looks at these comrades that are all bloodied and he's done nothing. He's like, I am usually better at this. I am so sorry. But yes, I'm trying to do my best.
Foes with strange tactics. Will take some adjustment. And he's kind of like nod down to his spear. Just luckily, I have something like this. It's done well against their armor. Most weapons, I think, would not do so well. It's good fortune, nothing less, nothing more.
I think you're a great warrior. The stories I've heard about you are not just stories. It's an honor to be here with you.
You would not have been chosen, Wolf, if you were not also worthy. Now, we must go west. There's no time for doubt.
You ride for the best part of the day, and you make it past the deeping stream. And in the distance, to the south, you can see the Hornburg, built in the western Calanardon, on this like rock that connects to the deeping wall. It guards this deep valley nestled in the White Mountains. There's no finer fastness in all of Rohan, and it's said that no enemy has ever, nor will ever, take that fortress. But you know that it's empty. It's a last resort when all is lost. And for now, Thengel believes that all is not lost. And so this great fortress lies empty at the moment, except for like a skeleton crew of maybe 10 men who like keep the place as safe as they can. Will you want to stop here at the Hornburg, or will you continue?
I mean, Wolf is okay, but he looks at his companion.
Would we have a sense for how much further we have to go? Like, is it like days, weeks, hours? Like, what kind of time are we looking?
If you rode, it's coming to evening, but if you rode through the night, you would get to Isengard. It's not. It's like a 6 or 7 hours probably from the Hornburg by horse.
With cover of night, we should be able to make it. I think that would be better than resting. If they can track us here, they might kill us in the night anyways.
Agreed. The sooner we reach the wizard, the better. We'll be safe there.
Yeah, Wolf wouldn't say anything.
And so you continue to ride, badly injured and exhausted, for the best part of the night. And then some hours later, you can see it in the distance, this great ring wall of stone, like towering cliffs, stand out from a shelter on the mountainside from which runs and then returns again. If you pass into it through this echoing tunnel, you can behold a plain, a great circle, like a vast shallow bowl. A mile it measures from rim to rim. Once it had been green-filled with avenues and groves of fruitful trees watered by streams that flowed from the mountains to a lake, but no green thing grew there in the latter days of Saruman. The roads were paved with stone flags, dark and hard, and beside their borders, instead of trees, there marched long lines of pillars, some of marble, some of copper and of iron, joined by heavy chains to the center. All the roads ran between the chains. There stood a tower of marvelous shape. It was fashioned by the builders of old, who smoothed the ring of Isengard, and yet it seemed a thing not made by the craft of men, but riven from the bones of the earth in the ancient torment of the hills. A peak, an isle of rock it was, black and gleaming hard. 4 mighty piers of many-sided stone were welded into one, but near the summit they opened into gaping horns, their pinnacles sharp as the points of spears, keen-edged as knives. Between them was a narrow space, and there upon a floor of polished stone, written with strange signs, a man might stand 500 feet above the plain. This is Isengard, the legendary fortress of Saruman the White Wizard, wisest and most powerful of the Istari. To the north it stands in the shadows of the mountain, to the south begin the White Mountains. This is the Gap of Rohan, and beyond dwell the Dunlendings, the hated enemy of your people.
I don't think Eorwin has ever seen it before. And it is awe-inspiring, just massive, and it seems so unlike home. It seems like it doesn't belong here. It's incredible.
Something else catches your attention. Standing on the plain before the gate to Isengard is a gathering of people, though they're not Rohirrim. They're painted and they have matted hair and dreadlocks. These are not men of the Riddermark. These are Dunlendings. And as you look up from them, you see something else. Standing on the plain before the gate to Isengard is a strange creature. It is enormous. On its back is a great platform on which men seem to stand and walk. 4 great tusks extend from its face, and a long trunk also. An oliphant, a mummical.
There's this intake of breath of as the size of this thing sinks in, and she realizes that the small forms around it are not children, they're people, men. And she can't even imagine what it's doing here, or how they got it here, or how they could fight it.
You think it stands near 30 feet tall, this enormous thing, and it like takes a few steps, and you can like feel it in the earth, and it trumpets this insane noise that you can hear just from miles around. And the horses that you're on like skitter nervously and like paw at the ground at the side of the thing.
So they're blocking the entry?
They're not directly in front of the gate, but they're on the plain in front of Isengard. There are like quite a few Dunlendings, but notably this one Oliphant.
And the White Wizard is nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
We'll have to try to get around them. Don't think we can fight.
We are of the same mind.
It would be tough across such an open field. Don't know how.
But why are they here? That's the real question.
They're likely aware that we would attempt such a thing. Rohan is in trouble. We need allies. They can block paths to any allies. They block aid. That would benefit us so greatly.
You know as well, like the gap of Rohan is basically blocked. Like if you're in front of Isengard, there's like this pass between the two mountain ranges, and like if this is blocked, it means that like no help can come from Arnor, for example. And you would imagine like that this Oliphant and the Dunlendings are like a holding force, and that more will come.
We must find a way to go and speak with Saruman. My horse is fast, though I have no idea how fast that thing is.
Is your horse quiet?
I can't guarantee anything. Normally you would sense how he feels, but I think he's as frightened as I am of this beast. Couldn't tell how he will react if things go south.
What if you had a distraction?
I will draw them.
Eor's gonna kind of like look down at himself. No, it should not be you. I'm already almost dead. I fear that I might not make it anyways.
All the
Is he
more
like-
reason for me to go.
Like coughs up blood.
All the more reason. I can hold my own longer. I am stronger. I am not so injured. And the two of you will have better chance of making it than just one. You must seek Saruman. Such is our oath.
Eor's gonna like look over to Wolf and kind of like motion like towards one side of this field. Go around. Eowyn will draw them in one direction. I will draw them in another. We must get one person through, that is all.
Therefore, you should go as well.
2 people are easier spotted. It'll be better if only one does.
I think that Wolf would just whisper something in the ear of his horse, turn to the others. You have proven to be true Rorians, true warriors. I have failed in my task to prove myself worthy. If someone
Our
must
task
die,
is to speak to the wizard. That is our only task.
yes, I
Until you
understand.
are dead, you have not failed.
But it would be a dishonor for me to let one of greatest Rohan's warrior die like this. I cannot let you go. You must be the one. I am fast. That's the advantage of not having such an armor. Hell, I think I'll even make it. I'll see you back at Edoras, and we'll drink mead.
The thing trumpets again. This insane echoing noise. This enormous beast as it moves and like turns its head side to side.
I cannot convince you, then fine. He's going to like look over to the other 2. These may be dark days for Rohan, but the red sun will arise over the Easterlings. Their blood will paint the fields. It's the only outcome that I can imagine. Just need to make it, so he's gonna like breathing heavily. Fearless warrior, but even still in this situation, breathing nervously. Go. Now.
So who's going to Isengard?
Eofor, I think.
I think it sounds.
Yeah, okay.
He was trying real hard not to, but apparently he is the one.
I was pretty sure, but I just wanted to double check before I pulled out my horn and yelled for Rohan and charged and, did that. So I'll move around using the cover of darkness, placing myself opposite of Eofor. Probably Wolf at my side. And when I can no longer see Eofor through the dusk, I'll look to Wolf. For Rohan.
Yes. For Rohan. I'll draw my bow. Yeah. Look at our friend go. Look at this huge beast. At least we'll die seeing something quite incredible.
She unsheaths her sword, holds it in her right hand, and with her left blows the horn and begins riding.
It's like this like shout, "Urna, Urna!" from like the top of the thing, and its like head like turns in the direction of the horn. You can see like a bunch of the Dunlendings are like screaming and shouting. They're like all on foot, and they'll begin like running. But the thing just takes one step and then another, and they begin moving in that direction. Let's roll initiative. Okay. So you blow the horn of Rohan, and the thing like begins to turn. It's obviously coming in your direction with like a great many of these Dunlendings. You see a couple of them like stay where they are, but most of them are like galloping or running rather in your direction. Darwin, you're first.
So whichever way AF4, if he'd gone slightly more to the east, then she's riding west and north, trying to draw their attention away from him, and kind of at a diagonal, intending to intercept them, but pulling them further from where they're kind of blocking this entrance, this gate. And she is... for the moment, I'm just going to dash. I imagine they're still far enough that we won't engage.
Oh yeah. I think you're. Well, it's up to you guys, but I imagine you're at least 200 feet away.
Yeah, we're pretty far. So as she's going, she begins to sing one of the songs. Raise up the banner, men of Rohan, heed the war horn blow. All is not lost so long as we but stand against the shadow. And just riding. Dun, 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 dun.
Wolf.
Same. I'm riding in the hopes of driving their attention. I'm staring up at this huge elephant, and I'm thinking that if I can draw the attention of these beasts, then I've done my job. I will do my best to just survive as long as I can riding.
Okay, perfect. So the two of you are galloping as fast as you can. This thing, this Oliphant, this Mumakil, turns and it like turns to face the two of you, and you feel this like very mortal shiver come across your spine as it like turns in your direction. You can see it has like these 4 enormous tusks, and then several smaller ones like coming out from this insane mouth, this like long trunk, and it begins to like move. Picking up speed as it moves towards you, though it's not able to do anything at this stage. You can see from the top, there's this shout, "Ordna!" And then this like great rain of arrows. So you're too far at this stage for them to be effective. You can both make a dex save with advantage. Darwin and Wolf.
12.
12? You say 12, Taylor?
Yeah, 12.
Okay. You'll take 7 from an arrow that like they just shoot them basically straight up, and like the wind carries it. It just like grazes you, and hits down into you. There must be 20 archers on top of this thing, and you can see just barely at this distance this like insane man with like, this crazy makeup and this huge sort of horned helmet at the top of it, and he's got this massive drum that he's like banging as the thing moves forward. AF4.
Yeah, AF4 hears the horn blow, the call for Rohan, and part of him wishes that he was there in the charge, his own horn blowing meeting. But instead, he looks down towards Isengard, towards the distracted path. He just himself out of dark to the day rising, in the sun, sword unsheathing. The hope's end I rode, and heart speaking, now for wrath, now for ruin, in a red nightfall. And he just is going to whip at the horse, and hoping that the distraction is enough, is just going to charge desperately towards Isengard. If there are any foes, I think you said some of them are staying behind. He's going to basically try to get as close as he can before just breaking into a full sprint, and then using dodge as his own action.
Okay, no problem. So you begin to gallop towards the gate of Isengard. This horde of Dunlendings are going to dash, so they'll move 60. They're like trying to keep up with the Mumika. They're unable to do so. They're just like running, and you see there's 50 or so of them that are like running behind this thing, trying to keep up. You can hear them like chanting in their foreign language. Though where you are, AO4, you can see this one who's like remained, and he's going to like see you, and he's going to shove the man next to him who like is adorned with like fine rings and things like that. He's obviously like some kind of chieftain, and he is going to throw a spear, which he misses, towards you. Just and the other man begins running in your direction. That's his turn. Darwin.
So can I engage anybody in this round?
If you're moving towards them, yes. You could engage the elephant.
Oh no, okay, I'm going to keep moving into diagonal.
Okay. Yeah, the men are quite far behind it. Like, it's moving much faster than they are. Okay. So if you want to get into the horde of men, you're going to have to go past or around the elephant.
No, she feels like going behind would pull their attention backwards where she's hoping AF4 will be going. So she's going to keep kind of going diagonal and then maybe circle back around the way she came, keeping their attention in this kind of hemisphere of play, as it were. And so the horse is moving and dashing, and my action in the saddle is dodging.
Okay. And Wolf?
So just to be clear, the horde is at the left side or the right side of the Mumakil?
It's behind it.
It's behind it.
Yeah, they're not as fast. The Mumaka is moving about as fast as a horse, you think, this elephant.
And it's in front of me.
Okay. It's behind you, I guess, because the way you're running, it's probably like off to your left is how I'm seeing it. But it's like 120 feet away from you, I think. No, it's probably 200 still, because you moved as well. So,
seeing that, would I have seen that they are aware of what we're doing? Like they're trying to chase AO4?
No, I think you would see that they're chasing you. Like with the insanity of like the thundering and stuff, I don't think you would notice the two men behind and AF4.
Wolf thinks that this is the end. This is what he always wanted, dying, serving Rohan. He will turn around, face the Mumakil, and my plan is I want to go between his legs and try to make him move on like ways that he cannot because he's so big. And maybe he'll just like attack his own people. I don't know, trying to do something like that, some shit, crazy shit.
So you're going to move towards it?
Yeah, I'm charging right. The idea is to pass between the legs if I can survive.
Okay. You can have inspiration for your insane bravery. Okay. it is going to move towards you, and because you're moving towards it, it's going to impact with you, and it's going to try and gore you. So a 28 to hit.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, it will hit. So it's moved. So it will get the bonus of its charge. When you're fishing at extra d12s, you know this is going to be bad. It's going to be 48 points of bludgeoning damage. And I need you to make me a strength save. Sorry, a dex save. And I need your horse to make one too.
So I rolled a 3.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, the horse. That's a lot. Let me just check what the horse is. 25. If the horse survives, I'm fine.
Yeah. So it like swings its massive head, and like one of the tusks, it has all these like spikes attached to the end of the tusk that they've like attached, and it just like swings and hits you and like connects. It knocks you out of the saddle. You're going to be knocked 30 feet away and up into the air, while the horse will like continue running underneath the Mukil's legs. Yeah. So you'll be knocked, and then you'll hit the ground. For 17 bludgeoning damage. So just this smashes into you. It's then going to continue moving, and it's going to try and stomp on you. Oh, geez, it's like impossible. It's got plus 14 to hit. It's going to be a 29, which will definitely hit. 15 bludgeoning. And it's going to continue moving towards the sound of the horn. But it's definitely moving away from Eofor, and so the sacrifice is not in vain. That's you done? Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so then that final stomp of the enormous like leg of this thing will like crush one of your legs, and you'll scream out in pain and like pass out from that pain. That was a Mocha. Okay, AF4.
AF4 is gonna like see these two men turn back towards him, and then like a quick glance down at himself, realizes that he's far too wounded to fight them head on, and he knows that if he dies, then all this is for nothing. So he's gonna like bring up his shield on the side that's facing them, and kind of have his spear ready in a parrying stance, just pushing the horse full speed, movement and dash towards Isengard with a dodge action.
Okay, you can see the gate ahead of you. This like huge imposing thing. That you can see that like a small door opens inside the gate, and the White Wizard is standing there with his staff. As you like gallop towards it, you're only 60 feet away from it now. The horde is going to like run, and they're going to your horse is going to like smash into a bunch of them. Wolf will like see it and like follow it through the legs of the thing. It's going to like knock a bunch of them aside. They're going to run and find you, and they're going to hack you to pieces. They're going to like stand over you, Wolf, and like with axes and like stone knives, they're just going to like hack apart. Kill the horse lord. They will chant, and so dies Wolf. It's the horde. The skirmisher is going to try and throw at you with disadvantage and misses. Orfoth was running towards you. Now he's like turning. He can see the White Wizard, and he's going to run after you, AF4, but he won't be able to reach you because he's on foot. Now we're back to the top, Eowyn. You can see that Wolf was like smashed from his saddle and up into the air, and then like trampled by this thing. And now you can see many of the Dunlendings have like stopped to like hack at his body.
Yeah, there's this cold fear at such a brutal death. not even with your horse, but to be knocked aside like a child's toy. But she continues, blowing the horn, waving the sword, and drawing their attention. And she'll begin maybe circling back around, sort of the way she'd come, in a wide arc.
Wolf, the last thing you see are like these dirty men with like broken teeth, like filthy savages from Dunland, who will like slash down at you with their like pathetic weapons, like stone knives and stone axes, and like poor iron will like slash. That's the last thing that Wolf will see. The Mumakil will continue following. It's going to fire the archers on top. I need you to make me a dex save, please, Darwin.
No.
There's like 8 piercing damage from arrows as they rain down above, and the Mumakil continues to gain on you. It's got this insane speed. It seems to be getting faster the longer it moves, and it's not far behind you now. You can like hear the insane trumpeting, and it does trumpet, and I need you to make me a wisdom save, and your horse to make a wisdom save.
And the horse. Okay. I get an 18 on the die. The horse gets a 3.
Okay, the horse is deafened and frightened.
Oh, God.
From the noise, you're able to just about keep it together as this like insane, like, just like trumpet from this huge elephant. You can like feel it in your chest. This like trumpet close to you.
Can I still control the horse?
Probably not. I'll let you do a animal handling on your turn to see if you can control it.
Okay.
So it's close to you. You can like smell this like strange scent of this creature. AF4.
So you said he can see the white wizard in that doorway.
Yeah, he's like waving you.
If he's left a space like between the gate, he's not like literally in the doorway. AF4 is literally just gonna like barrel straight through the opening.
Yeah, you can do so, and he'll like wave his hand, and the door will like close after you. And he'll like urge you into the tower, and you can like he'll like mount up on his own horse, and the two of you can like ride towards the tower of Orthanc together. The horde will like begin pilfering the fine Rohirric armor and weapons of Wolf, taking like his fine bow and his weapons and his armor and all of the gold on him, and they'll like begin fighting each other over it, savages that they are. The skirmisher looks horrified. You are gone, Orfoth. You can't see him anymore. No one knows what he's up to. And Darwin, animal handling, please, to control your mount.
And no, I do not control the horse.
Okay, then it flees in a random direction. Roll me a d4.
With me on it, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all right with that. That's a 3.
Okay, so you like turn sharply to your right and begin fleeing directly south towards where the mountains are. The horse is just like panicking, and it's like galloping now as fast as it can. Wolf is slaying the Mumakil. I need you to make another dex save, please. Darwin.
That one's a 13. I don't think that would do it.
Okay, you'll take 10 piercing damage from these arrows that rain down. And it is going to, let's see, you moved to 120, it's moving 120. So it'll probably still 30 feet behind you. It's very close. Actually, does that have reach?
Does it have a 30-foot reach? Oh my god, please don't tell me it has 30-foot reach.
It doesn't have a 30-foot reach, no, unfortunately not. It's only 30 feet tall itself. That would be outrageous. So it's like charging behind you, and you can like see these like massive clods of dirt being like knocked up, and you can feel like every step of it behind you, but it's not able to catch you yet. And you can like hear the chanting of the men on top, and they're like singing in this strange language. Eofor, you like reach the base of Orthanc with Saruman, and he like urges you inside.
Yeah, Eofor is breathing heavily, partially from his wounds, partially from everything that's happened. Rohan has sent me. They call for aid. They call for wisdom. We need your help, please.
I was trapped inside. The enemy were too numerous for me. You've done me a great service, I shall not forget. Come, tell me of Rohan. Late is the hour, and it is clear that there are enemies within. And he issues or urges you towards a seat, and he'll again wave his hand, and there'll be this cup of cool water.
Yeah, part of him is fearful, seeing this wizard move doors and objects with a wave of a hand. It doesn't sit right in his stomach, but he has no time for things like that. He's just gonna scramble for his armor and for his bag until he finds the kingly letter that Thengel had given him, and just hold it out.
He'll take it from you. He has these long pointed fingernails, and he'll break the seal and unfurl it, and he'll read it in half a second. He'll roll it back up. I have looked into the seeing stone, the Palantir. Endless hordes march forth from Barad-dûr. Orcs bred for a single purpose, to destroy the world of men. There is no victory possible for Rohan.
I cannot believe that's so, and even if it is, Rohan will die a glorious death.
No, it will not. The hordes march forth. Legions of men from the east, and orcs and fouler things still, pour into Rohan. There is no hope now for the Eored. All we can do is join him. The horde continues rushing after you, Darwin, and it's your turn.
So the horse has turned back south,
Yeah.
and home is kind of southeast, and so she will attempt to maybe, I don't know if I can try another animal handling to at least control where the horse is running.
Sure.
That's a non-natural 20.
Yeah, you can control it and move it wherever direction you want.
Yeah, so I'll angle it slightly more eastward, hoping that perhaps I might be able to lose them as I approach these mountains. I don't know how much more the horse has to give, but fear is a powerful motivator.
So you rush as fast as you can. This thing continues following you, and it's gaining speed. You can tell, the more that it moves, the faster it's getting as it builds up, sort of acceleration. I need you to make another dex save, please.
No.
Okay, 12 piercing damage. It's now 20 feet behind you. It's gaining as it rushes as fast as it can. Eofor.
The words that come out of the wizard's mouth hit him harder than any spear or blade he's taken so far. He hears this, we have to join him. Just feels this pit in his stomach form. And he's shaking his head. He doesn't even know what that means. Just what? Join the enemy?
What victory do you think Rohan can have against Sauron the Dark Lord? There is none to be had. Only obedience.
And he's gonna call on the only thing that he can think of, the stories that he's heard of these people. But the heralds have won great victory, and at the fortress, they can help.
One orcish hole in the north does not defeat Sauron. Every day, millions of orcs pour forth from Barad-dûr, and from Dol Guldur, and every fortress in Middle-earth.
If we don't fight, what world will there be left after the Dark Lord has it? There is no world to live in.
There is a ring. The Dark Lord searches for it desperately. If I had it, there would be a hope.
Is there any word of where this ring might lie?
A creature, Gollum, possesses it. Though where, we do not know.
If you had it, you could help us. We could beat him.
Yes, that's right. If I had it. I could use the power of the ring to do good.
Where is this creature? If there's any knowledge of its presence, I can find it. I can bring the ring back to you and we can beat them.
Yes. Come with me. I will show you. And he does this gesture, and you stand up from the seat, and he moves over and pulls a book, and he begins pouring through these maps with his sharp fingernails. He points to several places. Darwin, you're running, and the horde is after you, but it is your turn.
Darwin looks over her shoulder and sees the futility of flight, understanding that it continues to gain honor. And so she'll turn, taking her spear in one hand and her sword in the other, and ride back at it, hoping to go underneath it and cut into the soft underbelly.
Okay, go for
it. So swords a 17 on the die.
Yep.
Spears gonna be a 14, so I think those are both. That's a 26 and a 20.
Those both hit.
Okay. So we're looking at 38 damage. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I had a... Do not do that. It's not 38. Let me re-add my math. Sorry, 28.
Okay. Not so nice. Still nice.
That is nice. Still good.
So you slash at the legs of the thing as you ride under it. It's going to use a legendary action at the end of your turn to try and stomp on you. It's a trap. It's going to be 21 to hit.
Yep.
It's going to be 43 points of damage. Jesus.
Hang on, let's see. Where am I? I'm sitting pretty on 1 hit point.
So you slash at its 2 front legs, once with the spear, once with the sword, and then this back leg just kicks into you and almost crushes you beneath it. Then it's its turn. It's confused, and you see the rider at the top shout something, and you can see its big head turn, but it's going to try and stomp on you. Nonetheless, it will do so twice. It's a 19 on the die, so a 32 to hit.
Yeah. I do even have to ask.
It'll hit you twice for... First is 28. Oh, that's going to kill you, right?
Yeah. I'm in the negatives, as it were.
Okay, the second one then will hit your horse. For 32 points of damage.
That doesn't quite do my horse in.
Okay, so it grazes, it crushes you off the horse and crushes you underfoot into the muck below, and grazes your horse, which panics and begins to flee. and so dies Eorwin. Inside, Saruman is poring over these maps. You must understand. I have tried, but I have looked into the Seeing Stone. I have seen the enemy's plan, and there can be no victory here. But maybe, with this ring, we could defeat him. I could become more powerful than even Sauron.
And it is to the ring that we must look. It is the only hope for Rohan. I'll ride to any lengths for my king. That leads me to this creature, to this ring, can bring it back in it. And it is the only course of action.
He nods slowly. You must rest, Master Horseman. You must rest. You are unwell. And in the morning you will go and find me this ring. And that's where we're going to end session. Thanks, guys. This is some scary shit. So it's a grim ending. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching if you did.